It hasn't all been beautiful for the Yankees as they've played 2 games against the A's, but with hustling plays by some of the role players like Scott Pose, the team has found a way to win 2 games and hold their ground with Baltimore. An outfield assist here and a game-winning bouncer by Witten up the line there. Some of the key members have just continued to do their thing, like Paul O'Neill, who last night hit 1 out, and David Cone, who on Monday reached 2,000 strikeouts for his career. In their wake, New York has frustrated Mark McGwire, who may be emotionally tense as the trading deadline nears. Today, it's the 3rd and final game featuring David Wells, who didn't have much fun last time out. MSG Network welcomes you to the most historic place in sports, and today at Yankee Stadium the weather is absolutely glorious. It's the 3rd and final game between the Bombers and the Oakland A's. Steve Karsay, once a prized prospect for the Toronto Blue Jays, is struggling with the A's. He's 3-10. Meanwhile, David Wells goes for New York, and it's one of those days where no matter what you choose to do, the atmosphere and the environment are perfect for it. You can go on horseback, and definitely if your day includes baseball, you've got the right day for it. Hi, everybody. I'm Al Trawick. Well, Mr. Knight goes in the daytime today. That's David Wells, who pitches so much better at night than in the daytime. But we're not going to focus on him. We'll start things off with what's been going right for the Yankees, and that's the bullpen. Everything that's come out of the bullpen lately for the team has been absolutely perfect. Yesterday, Doc Gooden gave the Yankees 5 innings, and so they needed 4 innings of relief. And what they got was sensational. They allowed only 1 hit. Jeff Nelson with a devious pitch striking out Mark McGwire. Mike Stanton, a fastball on the outside corner, another strikeout. And then Mr. Save, Mariano Rivera, recorded his 31st of the season. Overall, throw in Kenny Rogers, and you've got Rogers, Nelson, Stanton, and Rivera closing down a victory for the New York Yankees as they go for the sweep today against the Oakland A's. And for more on today's game, let's get you upstairs. Jim Cott and Ken Singleton are standing by.
All right, thanks a lot, Al. Well, for that bullpen to do its job and save a game, the Yankees have to have the lead, which means they've got to get things going early in the ball game, and they've got a guy to kickstart their lineup now, and Derek Jeter, one of the best.
He's certainly getting the job done out of the top spot in the lineup. His on-base percentage over 40% leading off. Last night he had a base hit to lead off the bottom of the 1st inning for the Yankees. The Yankees scored 3 runs on the home run by Paul O'Neill in the inning. Derek Jeter now with 74 runs scored. He is 3rd in the American League in run scoring, and that's because of his on-base percentage.
And when you look at the leadoff average, only Kenny Lofton has a higher average in the major leagues. Hits, he's in the top 10, as well as scoring runs, and only Nomar Garciaparra goes to the plate more often than Derek Jeter. Very durable and doing the job. Speaking of durable, the Yankees will send left-hander David Wells to the mound today, and as Al said, he's usually Mr. Night guy, but today he's got to do the job in the daytime.
Well, he didn't do the job in his last starts. Kind of struggled against the Seattle Mariners, so look for him to bounce back somewhat this afternoon against the Oakland A's. David Wells has had a start against the A's this year, but here against the Mariners in his last start, gave up 2 home runs, 8 earned runs. That's the most he's given up in one ball game this year. Certainly he will remember that. This is Dan Wilson at the plate, and this one's going to go a long way. To the upper deck in left field at Yankee Stadium, the furthest reaches of the stadium, and David Wells, as I said, trying to bounce back from that awful outing against Seattle.
And you see the numbers at nighttime. He's been terrific in the day, still looking for more success. Highest day ERA among the active pitchers. Pretty good matchup for him today. David Wells uses his fastball. Oakland has not shown they can turn on any fastballs in this series. The Yankees will be trying to sweep this 3-game set, and Kenny and I will have it for you when we come back on MSG.
So I get this email from my friend all about Citibank's free PC banking. Free software, free service. They even have a free 800 helpline. Look, did you ever pay anyone this easily? Or move money from one account to another like this? Even get stock quotes for free. So I'm in control of my finances anyway. And it's all safely done on Citibank's private network.
Citibank's free PC banking service. It's also available for small businesses.
So why go to the bank when the bank can come to you?
Call now, 1-800-321-CITI.
Hello?
Eddie.
Hey, little brother, what's up?
Oh, Eddie, I'm not doing so good. I don't have a clue what the coach is saying. I'm 0 for my last 14.
Johnny, you gotta open up.
What do you mean? I'm pulling the ball too much as it is.
No, you gotta open up. Have some fun. Make some friends over there. Play.
Hello? Eddie, you won't believe this.
You could slide into the exciting home of the world champion Yankees when you cool off with the refreshing taste of Coca-Cola Classic. Right now, you could win 4 tickets to a New York Yankees home game when you play the Catch 4 sweepstakes. Just enter at Coca-Cola displays at participating Pathmark stores in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. 1,000 lucky fans will win 4 tickets to see the Yankees play at home. So swing by Pathmark for Major League fun with Coca-Cola Classic. Always for the fans.
Always Coca-Cola.
New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by the 62,000 professionals at Delta Airlines, by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. By AT&T, it's all within your reach. And by Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers.
Welcome back to the stadium, and what a great run of weather we have had for baseball, and the crowds have reflected that. Yankees averaging over 30,000 a game, a lot of youngsters on hand. In fact, by the time this year's over, they may have the highest season attendance they have had since 1988. That was their all-time record at 2,000,008. David Wells, other 2,000,006. David Wells takes the mound today. We talked about his problems in the daytime. Here's the lineup he's going to face, brought to you by McDonald's. Some newcomers in there for Art Howe. Mark Bellhorn, the rookie, he leads off. Then Tony Batista. Patrick Lennon, his 7th team in his career. He bats third. Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, and Scott Brocious. And then the bottom third, Scott Spezio, Ernie Young. Izzy Molina does the catching today.
In the field for the Yankees, Pose, Curtis, and O'Neill in the outfield. Boggs, Jeter, Soho at second. Martinez at first. Girardi doing the catching for David Wells this afternoon. There, you always talk about Luis Sojo's defensive ability. Here's a guy who's doing the job with the bat, hitting .302 after going 2 for 3 last night. A couple of RBIs and a run scored. Always brings a good glove to the field, but is usually doing the job with the bat of late.
Yeah, his RBI single last night gave the Yankees the runs they needed to beat Oakland in 20 starts. This is David Wells' 21st. And a lot like Doc Gooden, he has done a good job in about half of them. See the rest of his pitching line. As a matter of fact, the Yankees are 10-10 in the games that he has started.
One thing he will do, he will get the ball over the plate.
Mark Bellhorn. That pitch is low for a ball. Leads it off. Second baseman, shortstop in the minor leagues. Mark Bellhorn getting an opportunity now to play third base because Scott Spezio has become the regular second baseman. And that's low, 2-0.
One thing that Wells is going to have to face in Bellhorn, they say he's a very patient hitter, one of the few that the A's have. He's willing to take a pitch, work a pitcher, and that's one reason why the young man is leading off.
Takes that one outside corner, 2-1. Again, we've talked about the umpiring crew, and they tend to be pitcher friendly, and you have perhaps the most pitcher friendly umpire in the American League today behind the plate, John Hirschbeck. There's the rest of the crew down the right field line, and slicing foul, and it's 2-2. Mentioned the patience, Kenny, of Mark Bellhorn. Maybe there's something at that Auburn program. Coach Hal Baird's been there for years. It's where Mark went to school. Frank Thomas came out of Auburn. I remember seeing him as a college player. What a disciplined hitter he was, even at the college level. Batista waits on deck. Got it. High fastball. And Bellhorn down on strikes. First out of the ball game.
Well, David Wells getting off to a good start. 2-2 pitch, the action pitch we like to call it. And he threw it as hard as he could right for the middle of the plate, and Bellhorn couldn't catch up with it. The key hitter in any inning is that leadoff guy. 91 miles per hour, the second hardest pitch he threw during that at bat. So Wells reaching back for a little bit extra and picks up the strikeout.
It's been the pitcher's battle cry for years. Get that leading lady. Get that first out of the inning. And Wells did that. Here's Tony Batista. That's That's outside for a ball. I mentioned that David Wells uses his fastball a lot. He believes in it, trusts it, and so far in this series, Oakland has been late on most of the fastballs from the Yankee pitching staff. Like that. 1-1.
That's a combination of velocity and probably good location with the fastballs too. If you get them glowing away and up and away, it's tough for those hitters to get it unless they're really geared in on that zone. And that's a combination of moving the fastball around within the zone. In, out, up, down.
Another one in on the hands late, popped up. Wells going to give way to Tino Martinez. 2 down in the Oakland first.
See, the previous fastball was away and he fouled it off. Then he comes in with a fastball up and in, and he certainly couldn't get to that one if he was late on the previous one. Now we started to get into the muscle program of the
They've unlocked the weight room, and out came Patrick Lennon. I mean, this guy, he was a #1 draft pick of the Mariners 11 years ago. I mean, he was one of the top 8 players in the country picked. 6'2", 230. A tools player, scouts will say. You know, he's got the power, he's got the speed, but now with his 7th organization in 12 years, and Oakland's going to see if they can get a little more out of him than the other 6 have. I mean, look at those biceps. First pitch is a strike. Again, jammed and in on the hand. I mean, he's strong, but when you look at that bat position, Kenny, laying that bat on it, you better be awfully quick to catch up with a fastball from that start. And I'm sure Denny Walling, the hitting coach, has worked with him. And they get a little stronger when you look in the on-deck circle. There's where McGuire waits.
It looks to me like Lennon tries to muscle the bat through the zone rather than like McGuire just uses his hands and wrist and follows through quickly.
Late again, 0-2.
A lot of upper body in his swing, and at this point he seems to have been late last night and again tonight or this afternoon.
So if you've been paying attention as a Yankee pitcher and catcher, in Joe Girardi's case, you say breaking balls, you're doing these guys a favor, you know, if you throw them in the strike zone. That one was in the dirt and he got him to chase it, I think. Yeah. That was a 56-footer. Lennon couldn't hold up. So Wells has a nice first inning. Oakland down in order. Yankees coming to bat against New Yorker Steve Karsay.
I've been driving the Midtown route for years. It's no picnic. Traffic's bad enough in summer, but winter? Oh, forget about it.
If only I drove my GMC Jimmy all day, cruising the street with my 4-wheel drive, moving in and out of rush hour traffic.
Hey, what traffic?
And now you can get 2.9% APR financing or receive $1,500 cash back. See your Tri-State GMC dealer today.
I'd be relaxed in my Jimmy.
Hey, move it, pal!
MSG Network thanks the Southgate Tower for hosting our guests during the Yankee season. The Southgate offers a spacious suite for the price of a regular hotel room right across from Madison Square Garden. For reservations, call 1-800-MESUITE.
25-year-old Steve Karsay, product of Christ the King High School in Queens, takes the mound for Oakland. Here's the lineup that he'll face, brought to you by McDonald's. Talked about the good job Derek Jeter's doing as a leadoff hitter. He's up there. Then Soho, O'Neill, and Martinez. Ivan Cruz gets his 2nd straight start as the DH. Wade Boggs, Chad Curtis, Joe Girardi, and Scott Pose.
Defensively for the A's in the outfield, Lennon, Young, and Brosius. Bellhorn, Batista, Spicio, and McGuire around the infield. Molino doing the catching. Karsay on the mound. And we look at the young third baseman Mark Bellhorn. As Kitty pointed out, shortstop and a second baseman in the minor leagues. He's going to have to learn a new position to third because Scott Spezio has taken over at second base for the Oakland A's. And the ironic thing about that, Spezio was a third baseman in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
They had to learn how to play second in the big leagues.
And they got maybe the best third baseman all around in the American League playing right field. I mean, when they have their organizational meeting this winter, Oakland's got to get together and say, where are we going to play these guys? Get them back where they belong. Steve Karsay is where he belongs on the mound. He has started 22 games. The numbers don't look impressive. His record is 3-10. Fastball inside. But when they acquired him, trading deadline, which is, we're coming upon it right now, 4 years ago for Ricky Henderson, Oakland thought they were going to get a guy could really be their ace. That's in for a strike. 1-1.
Good movement on the fastball. Kind of looked outside, then tailed back over the outside corner. You're always looking for late movement. Good live fastball, inconsistent curve, and certainly potential #1 with more experience.
No question about it. He had that Tommy John arm surgery a few years ago, was inactive the entire 1995 season. He's got a big time fastball and a good overhand curve. He's ahead of Jeter 1-2.
I think anytime you have a pitcher that's undergoing surgery, you look for him not to bounce back as quickly as you might think. You know, it's going to take at least a year or so for them to bounce back from surgery.
There's the curveball, and he hangs it, and Jeter rips it down the left field line into the corner. And again, Derek doing a great job leading the Yankee offense. A leadoff double.
You know, with Derek not swinging at 2 fastballs, it almost told me he's looking for a hook somewhere in this at bat. He finally gets the curveball, and it's like he called for it himself.
Yeah.
It wasn't in a good place. I mean, it was right in the middle of the plate, but he drills it to the corner like somewhere during that at bat I'm going to get a curveball.
You know, and that was a great example, Kenny, in talking with Bob Cluck, the pitching coach, before the game. He said Karsay's arm speed on his curveball is so slow. We mentioned the inconsistent curveball. That was a good example of it. I mean, he just rolled that up there. No snap to it. Here's Soho. And you see Louis trying to hit it the other way to advance Jeter. That's fouled out of play. Well, for the second time in the homestand, the Yankees face a product of Christ the King High School. Alan Watson for the Anaheim Angels faced them last week.
Here's a look at the defenders for the Oakland A's, brought to you by the Marriott Marquis. Of course, you fans know by now it is Broadway's biggest hit.
Well, Soho took 2 shots at trying to hit it the other way. Both those fastballs up and in, and it is 0-2. If you painted a day for baseball, said I want to go to the ballpark and here are the conditions, this would be it. A comfortable 76 degrees at game time. Just enough breeze, keep it comfortable. That's outside, 1-2. Low humidity, blue skies,
and a pretty good crowd on hand.
Fastball just misses, and it's 2-2 to Soho.
Yeah, this is one of those days when I was a youngster, if I wasn't watching the game on TV or enjoying something else to do, I was out playing stickball all day long, morning till night.
They talk about baseball going downhill and there aren't as many young kids playing it. On your drives to the stadium, I'll tell you, every field corner park you see, there's a lot of kids playing baseball. Coaches out there working with them. Soho does the job. Took him 3 swings to do it, but he advances Jeter. That's why he is a good number 2 hole hitter.
That's the sort of thing a manager will appreciate. A guy can move the runner over, get his team jump started in the first inning. Now it's up to the number 3 hitter to get the job done and drive him in. Get him over and then get him in. Soho, well, his pitch is a little more out over the plate, so he's able to handle it a lot better than the first 2 times when he tried to hit the right field. There it is. And not only did he hit it that way, he hit it pretty well. Gave him a chance, gave himself a chance to get a hit, pick up an RBI. See how he keeps the bat back, but he gets his hands forward. That way, when he hits the ball has to go in that direction. Nice piece of hitting by Luis Sojo.
And a nice shot from our camera crew to show how he did it. Here's O'Neill. That's outside for a ball. Art Howe, Oakland manager, does not want to give up that first run. So in the first inning, he has brought the infield in. That's outside, 2-0.
Karsay has had some problems in the first inning this year. And he's facing a guy who's hitting just over 400 with runners in scoring position. So this is a tough situation for the young right-hander.
I'm a little surprised that they do that in the first inning. Every manager has a different philosophy, but some say I want to stay away from the big inning. If O'Neill just hits a routine ground ball right now, it becomes a single.
No.
Way off the plate, and he won't need to. That's a wild pitch. Jeter scores. Almost looked like they were pitching around O'Neill. And Karsay bounced the curveball. Jeter scores. 1-0 Yankees.
Jeter has now scored 75 runs, third in the American League in run scoring. And you mentioned the inconsistent curveball, and that's about as inconsistent as you can get. In the dirt, Molina can't block it all the way back to the screen, and the Yankees have a run. Looks like he's following the target okay, but he can't deliver the pitch to the right spot.
4-pitch walk. So like the Yankees did last night against Carlos Reyes, off to a good start against the Oakland A's. Bob Cluck, the pitching coach, and he knows the point you made a while ago. Guy's coming off elbow surgery with a good arm, a lot of potential. You just have to be patient, live with him for a season or so.
We talked about Scott Brocious next year for all the rotisserie leaguers, probably having a lot better year next year. This young man on the mound will have a better year next year than he's had this year.
Tino Martinez steps in, and that's in for a strike. Well, last night he got caught on the kneecap. Yeah, but does not appear to be limping today.
Well, the A's pitchers lead the league in hitting batters with 45.
Like a changeup.
Yeah.
Tino out in front.
And I think that high number of hitting batters is a combination of things. First of all, they're probably tired of seeing the league hitting .301 against their pitching staff. And maybe trying to gain a measure of the plate back.
Up and in, good waist pitch. Karsay, it sounds like he's got pretty good pop on the fastball.
With some young pitchers on their staff too, getting back to the hit by pitchers, there's such a thing as learning how to pitch inside, moving hitters off the plate without hitting them. And I think inconsistency sometimes with a young staff, they do hit people.
Hit well, right field, near the track. Gross just looking up, and it's gone.
Last night it was Paul O'Neill who set off the celebration in the dugout in the first inning with a 3-run home run. This time Tino Martinez with a 2-run shot.
That was Tino's 36th.
And fans, this is the most home runs by a Yankee first baseman since Lou Gehrig hit 37 in 1937.
Ivan Cruz with a sharp ground single to right field, taking advantage of his playing time.
Tino had a good swing at the changeup on the first pitch, and I don't know if that was another changeup, but he stayed back on it, and it just had enough height on it to get over the wall in right field for number 36. What a season. Here's a good look at it, as the right fielder Brocious is going to have the last look at this one as it leaves the ballpark. And our Chevy truck supervision, yeah, has the mark of a change, 80 miles an hour, and maybe a little bit too hard. You got to get those changes in the 70s.
Boggs, good swing there, fouled straight back. You're right. The radar gun, where it can be helpful to a pitcher, is the difference between your fastball and your change. And that changeup at that speed might just be a mediocre fastball. That Karsay, with a good fastball, has been hurt by a hanging curve and a changeup in this inning. Keeping Cruz close.
Well, they've seen it 36 times, or maybe listened to it 36 times. Well, it was there, yeah, and I turned on it and it left.
Up and away, 1-1 to Boggs, probably because the Yankees have not seen Karsay since April. He pitched a good game against them. 7 1/3 innings, 2 runs, didn't get the decision, but Oakland won that game. So just telling everyone on the bench a little about his fastball, curve, and changeup. Still the best pitch in the game. You saw what David Wells did in the first inning, and now Karsay, to a good hitter like Boggs, has thrown his fastball by him, particularly in day games. I think it's bright, the glare, a little tougher for hitters to see the ball, and I think a good fastball is a much higher percentage pitch. In on the hands, center field. Young drifts over. Now Brocious comes into the picture, and the right fielder will make the grab. That's the second out of the inning as Cruz retreats to first base.
Well, years ago, hitters didn't wear sunglasses like Wade Boggs is wearing this afternoon.
Yeah, those designer shades, and now you can get them with about 8 different shades of lens, depending on whether it's overcast, sunny. And it is sunny today. Chad Curtis. As a Yankee, he's hitting .289. What a nice matchup this is. Kenny, you've talked about, that's his season numbers. That includes his time in Cleveland. But you talked about how he loves the ball upstairs, and he's looking at a high fastball pitcher.
I'm surprised he didn't swing at that one. Don't try him again, though. So that's too high.
2-0. Bernie Williams comes back this weekend, and the way Curtis is playing, you could expect him to get some playing time in left field. Two and 1. Minnesota Twins come in. Day off tomorrow and a break for the Yankees. Brad Radke, hottest pitcher in the American League, is pitching tonight against Kansas City. So Yankees will miss him. They'll probably get a left-hander like Rich Robertson, maybe New Yorker Frankie Rodriguez. One of the games. Jam shot up the middle. Cut off by Spezio. Nice play, and he cannot get Curtis. Nice play by Scott Spezio, but with Chad Curtis's speed, he couldn't get the out.
Ball almost hit second base. Spezio on the shortstop side of second base, unloads accurately. Hey, I have to watch that one again. Here it is. Spezio unloads, looks like a quarterback running out of bounds with a lot of people chasing him. Throw to first. Tie goes to the runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a base hit. I'd want one.
So did Curtis, and he got one. Bill Miller, the new umpire in this crew, on the call. Here's Girardi. That's low for a ball. Again, that bottom third of the order has been doing a great job for the Yankees. Curtis, Girardi, and Pose been a big part of it. 2-0. We get the advanced pitchers now looking ahead to that Twin series. They'll see a newcomer, Shane Bowers. And then on Sunday afternoon, LaTroy Hawkins, young hard-throwing right-hander, will go against Doc Good. Bob Cluck, little on-the-job training with this young Oakland pitching staff. Trying to you can imagine Steve Karsay coming back to New York, probably has lots of family, buddies from school, and to have a rough first inning like that. Oakland you know, a team would like to see him get through the first inning and then go on and give him 5 or 6. They're not going to give him a quick hook. Oakland's not going anywhere. They're going to let him try to work out of this. In for a strike, 2-1.
He's had a number of, I would say, challenging first innings during the course of the year, and he's drawn some fire at times from general manager Sandy Alderson, who says that they're just not going to sit and look at this. We're going to get somebody else. Of course, this kid has the potential to be a #1 starter. So
who else do they have?
Yeah. Sandy Alderson has been one of those GMs who'll let you know what he's thinking. And when it comes to his team or somebody else's.
Center field. Ernie Young broke back, now in. Has time to make the grab. Girardi is retired, and so are the Yankees, but not before Tino Martinez 2-run homer helped power the Yankees to a 3-run first. We played 1. The Yankees off to a good start. They lead it 3-0.
We're all over it. Big Hawks promo, scene 1, take 48. Action.
Hi, everybody. Mike Crispino along with Bart Oates. Can we do that if we stop and do that?
You can't stop. This is arena football. The action is continuous. The clock does not stop until the last minute of each half. So you got to pick yourself up. Let's go.
All right. Is there any way I can stop the clock?
Sure. Just call timeout.
All right. Timeout.
Catch all the action as the City Hawks battle the Rattlers live from Arizona Thursday night right here on MSG.
August heats up a summer month of red-hot sports action on MSG Network, like New York Yankees baseball. Follow the world champs as they battle it out against the Angels, Mariners, and Montreal Expos. Get all the latest team news, lineups, and features on MSG's comprehensive pregame show. Al Trotwick hosts AT&T Yankees Scorecard. Tune in and catch Rebecca Lobo, Sue Wicks, Teresa Weatherspoon, and the rest of the New York Liberty as they battle Utah, LA, and Cleveland. MSG brings you all the fast-paced action that's taking the area by storm. Don't miss Metro Star Soccer. Get the lowdown on this year's New York Pro football team as new coaches and new looks highlight Giants Today and Jets Journal. Take full swings at today's hard-hitting sports issues with the man who pulls no punches. Bob Page hosts Page 1. Plus, you can always get the latest scores, stories, and all of the action highlights on Coors Light MSG Sports Desk. It's a great month of August sports action on the New York sports leader, MSG Network. They're all over it.
What a day in the Bronx. And a reminder that New York Yankees baseball is brought to you in part by your Tri-State GMC dealers, comfortably in command. And David Wells will face Mark McGwire. We mentioned last night could be the last game or two for Mark McGwire in an Oakland uniform. That's low for a ball. Trading deadline midnight tomorrow night. The A's actually play the Baltimore Orioles in Oakland tomorrow. They'll travel home after today's game. Yankees are off. Straight back, strike 1. See, that's where David Wells will trust that fastball. He had a good swing there. There's a look at a little thumbnail on McGwire. 81 RBIs. Doesn't have as many guys getting on in front of him as Tino Martinez does, but he's second to Tino in slugging percentage. In on the hands. Again, another good fastball. I think Wells has thrown one curveball, and that's the one in the dirt that Lennon committed on.
And when you're going to commit that much to the fastball, you have to have control of it, move it around, and he's done that. Low and away on the first pitch to McGwire for a ball. Then a pitch that he fouled off, low and away on the outside corner, and the fastball up and in. So let's see what he goes with here. Could it be that curveball in the dirt again?
It's a curveball, and McGwire pulls it foul.
They always mention how pitchers kind of return to the same pattern. If you watch closely, you can almost figure out as if you're up there hitting and think about what's coming. You always have the fastball in the back of your mind, but because you're able to adjust to the breaking ball and a changeup.
Upstairs, and he laid off. No swing, says Bill Miller. 2-2. Yeah, I think this long dry spell Mark is in the midst of right now, over 40 at bats without a home run, is what you referred to last night. I think he'll be glad when tomorrow night's over with, find out where he's going to finish the year. 2-2.
Well, last night certainly a problem, struck out by Doc Gooden. Once again by Doc Gooden. Jeff Nelson with a great breaking ball strikes him out. And then Mariano, just pure heat. 4 times the golden sombrero last night.
Off the plate, 3-2. I think Mark wanted to swing the bat. He said, was that ball 4? You have to miss the plate by a long way with John Hirschbeck. Of course, David Wells with excellent control. So McGuire draws a leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Matt Stairs. Now,
is that ball 4?
Yeah. He wasn't counting. He was just counting the strikes. And we had a picture of Jose Canseco in the last inning loosening up when his turn to bat would come up, and he has been scratched because of tightness in the bat in the back. So Matt Stairs actually enters the game as a pinch hitter, which he's accustomed to doing.
Although Canseco was the DH, he had been announced in the starting lineup. Right. So that's why Matt Stairs coming up to hit in his stead is a pinch hitter and will probably remain as the designated hitter.
There's the curveball. He'll use it to the lefty. So there's Matt Stairs having a good year, saying, left-hand pitcher, day game, last day of the road trip. I'll just kick back and watch a nice ball game on a sunny afternoon, and all of a sudden he's right in the fire against David Wells. And Canseco probably swinging that bat in the dugout, felt tightness in his back, said he could not go. That's a curveball tapped weakly toward Tino Martinez. They get the lead out at first, and the return throw is not in time. And that's the first out of the Oakland second.
Immediately when you see Canseco pulled out of lineup, you think, whoa, maybe he got traded right in the middle of the game, but that's not the case. Here's the lead runner being erased at second as McGuire is forced. Stairs beats the relay. Tino with a nice 360. Accurate throw right on the money to Jeter. Tall buildings in a single bound.
Agile. Scott Brocious will step in with the average just over 200. Done well again late on the fastball. Strike one. You mentioned Jose Canseco. As the career numbers by Brocious, 2 home runs. Strike 2.
With Canseco coming out of the game, kind of reminds me of a situation years ago in a rule that they passed in the American League called the Weaver rule. And it was Earl used to abuse the designated hitter. What he would do is he would list a pitcher in the code, and if he said his thinking was, say they knock out the pitcher by the time the DH comes up, and I have pinch hit for him because they're bringing an opposite pitcher. He says, I'm going to list Stone, who's already on the road. He's going to the next town.
Still 0-2.
You know, he's not, and then he sends up whoever he wants to pitch hit for Steve Stone. Well, of course, the league didn't like that, and they passed the rule. Steve Stone being a pitcher listed as a designated hitter. So now they made it so you have to list who's ever going to DH that first at bat as the real DH. So Earl, ahead of his time, trying to dig out a little bit.
Curveball, and he caught the outside edge. Brocious knew it.
On the back foot and headed away.